Hey, what's up guys? Thanks for coming back for yet another video. This camera quality is just insane. I can't believe it. From what this channel is used to now, incredible difference. I added like 600 more lights. Here's a huge big softbox light. Thanks for coming back for another video. You know I appreciate you. I'm gonna plug the subscribe right at the beginning. If you're new to this channel, or this is your first ever time seeing anything on this channel, thank you. Hopefully you consider subscribing. Everything I'm gonna do in this channel is, basically the same. Will it run, bringing things back from the dead, resurrection style. This video is no different. Let me give you the backstory. Today we're looking at this Troy-Bilt chipper shredder. Sorry in advance, the wind is just insane today, so that's just what's going on there. But we have a chipper, one of those big, huge Troy-Bilt. I don't know if you consider this a commercial unit, but it's just one of those beefy, not very mobile things that you just shove big branches and logs into. I got it from a guy that's local. He and I have exchanged, a couple different transactions in the past. And so when I was there the other day, he said, hey, do you mind taking a look at this? And I'll get into what is going on with it in a second. So I told him, sure. It actually, over there in the dark corner, it does have a sister or a brother. And I'll bring that one in just a moment. So this one they used, and they used it at their place. Apparently just one day there was an event that caused it to stop working. And this pull cord it doesn't feel like it engages. So there's a couple things that could be the reason why. Number one, those paws in there could have just broke. That's a definite possibility. Or, just without looking too much into it, the other thing that it could be is the flywheel may have sheared. I do know they design these things to take on, stress and pressure that otherwise normally wouldn't happen. But, you can only imagine what's getting shoved into here, this big, huge, I don't even know how you open this thing. Never worked on anything like this before. Oh, look at that. So, whoa. That's not good. Okay, I got a flashlight. Just shoved that down. Oh, okay, I thought that was metal. Those pieces down there. Just looks like it's some kind of like ribbon or plastic or something. I thought at first that was metal, and that kind of scared me. So all he knows is there was an event that happened, and it just stopped running, and this pull cord doesn't really engage much. Other than that, I was told it was running. So it's either the flywheel key or it's those little plastic paws. I would imagine the ones on these are probably metal, and that's that. Now, the other one, the guy's dad, he had found this one on the side of the road for sale. I want to say he paid like $200 for it. And this one is just a peach. The transmission is stuck in gear. There's like sorry, it's really dark. There's like a little doorbell, like kill switch, which is really strange. And then this probably has to do with the transmission. This cable, is not engaged, and it's locked. You can't push it. If you lift it up, you can roll it. His intentions were to have one to be able to rob parts from, but I think if this one's easy, I think if this one's easy enough, we can just take a look at that flywheel thing and then just go from there. So no more rambling. I'm just going to take that thing off. We can't even check to see if it has spark or anything like that. This was off. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. It's got oil. Might be a little low. It doesn't look extremely dirty either. And then I believe this is the air filter choke. That's the throttle right there. Other than the recoil thing, the only other thing is this wheel down here. It's kind of wanting to tip inwards. So we can look at that last. That's the least of my worries. But first, let's just pop this off. We'll just take a look at it and see what it looks like. that is obviously a major flaw of why this isn't working. This, I don't know if this is called a flywheel cup, but those paws, when they, when they paw out, they catch one of these ridges, and that's what makes, because this is connected to the engine. Yeah, see, those paws are metal. I had a feeling they would be, just because this thing's pretty beefy. It's a little bit bigger than, the normal small engine. It's not the biggest, that's for sure, but okay. So I'll show you the other part too, and this is, I'm assuming this is the transmission. It's hooked to this flywheel. I think this probably acts as like a pulley as well. That is just held on there by a nut. So I'm gonna take that nut off. We can take this piece off, and that just seems like really, really flimsy metal to have on there. I mean, it really doesn't. Oh, the pulley, the belt goes on there. Uh-oh, I wonder if that did any damage to the belt. Can't really see any damage to the belt, but it looks like the belt goes around that, and then there's a ridge on there, and then the belt just sits in that cave. So let me get the one off the other one, and we'll put it on. Off camera, during all of that fun cinematography that was happening, I did get a whiff of that gas tank, and it is just terrible. It smells like straight pool chlorine water. So that will probably need attention. I mean, other than that, I mean, when they said it ran fine. Obviously, that is a big problem. But we get that fuel system cleaned out and that little wheel, that gimpy wheel, fixed up. And I mean, from what they told me, it should be a fine machine. I'm trying to think about some plans for the other one. I'm just going to think for a moment while I sit here. So I can take the piece. I can take this piece from the other unit. The other one's fine. I can take the wheels from those and put it on here. The guy that I know is Dad. This is his, this is his gig. And I want to say the other one that he found, he paid like $200 for it. They're probably worth $350 to $400 in good used running conditions. Maybe he got it for an okay price. I probably wouldn't have paid that even if I needed it. I don't need something like this at my house, but what would you do? Let me know in the comments what you would do. As I think here, you can type and tell me what you would do, because I'm curious. I can take that flywheel cup off of that one and put it on this one. That leaves that one completely useless. I don't know how much this piece is. I can only, I can imagine it would probably only be $15, $20, $10 maybe. So, not that much. That other one has major transmission issues too, which I don't really know if I want to go digging too much into those. I didn't charge him to look at this stuff. It's more for you guys in this video. So, that's not in play. So it's not like, hey, he was like, hey, I'll pay you something, whatever you charge, just fix both of them. It was more just whatever. So the dad, when I did talk to the dad when he was there, I think his name is Orlin, really sweet name. I think when he was there, he said he didn't mind if that one was a dedicated parts unit to take from and move to this. Obviously, that transmission has some major issues going on with it. Like I said, now I think for the third time, but all right, let me think about it. I'm gonna think about it off camera just for a minute. Okay, so here's the one with transmission issues. We kind of got this one front and center. I don't even know if it really pulls over. So let's pull it over and we'll see, make sure it even does. Feels like it. That didn't sound very good. Eek, that didn't sound good at all. Yikes. Let's check into that. Let's see what's going on there. I think these bolts, these 4 wing nuts things just come right off. Let's get those off. All right, get that bad boy off of there. So let me take just like a visual inspection. So I'm no rocket scientist, but I'm gonna guess that it's scraping on it. right there. Let's see, which way does it spin? I'm gonna pull the engine over. So it wants to spin counterclockwise. So it's not hitting in there. It's probably not smart to do that without the spark plug on. Just for reference, it is on. So I'm quite the doofus. So it's obviously not hitting anywhere in there, which means it's somewhere on here, I think. Just want to look. It looks relatively. I mean, it doesn't look very bent here. This is your angle. Really, I mean, if anything, it looks like it's more down instead of up. And you think it'd be hitting if it was up. I'm going to look at it from my view. Yeah, that is just perfectly flat. That's pretty flat too. I don't get it. Weird. I wonder if I could put some washers. Okay, I've made a decision on what I want to do. I do want to throw some washers on these 4 posts. I think these fit. They're a little bit wobbly, but they give it just enough. You know, I'd say that's what, a 1/16 of an inch maybe? Something like that. So let me get those put on there. Just see if that noise goes away. I'm not really going to force them on. When I tighten them down, I'm not going to force them on. But we'll see. We'll just see what that does. And if the noise goes away, great. We'll pursue it further before we do anything too dramatic. I don't even know what that means. All right, let's pull it over and we will see if that made any difference with that knock. Oh, heck yeah, don't even hear it. Oh my gosh. So here's the plan. Here's what we'll do. I'm going to check for spark, and then if it's got spark, we'll dribble a little fuel down that plug hole. And then from there, we'll just, you know, that will determine that engine is good. I assume it is, and then we'll just take a quick peek at those transmission woes and just see what that gives us, and then we'll just kind of make a game plan from there. All right, you guys know what's next. We'll get a little bit of fuel down that plug hole, see what this thing sounds like. I imagine this thing is very, very loud. So it's a very fitting piece of equipment we have for today with all this wind and rattling going on. So let's get a little bit of fuel down that plug hole. We'll see what it sounds like. Leave the choke off. Hopefully it's not in gear too, so it doesn't just come in and just mow me over. All right, let's let it rip. All right guys, that sounded great. You might be noticing this one is different. This is the other one. And I'm going to get the flywheel nut off that other one. We'll get that cup on here. I want to do the same exact thing to this guy. We'll just make sure the engine's good. And then, like I said earlier in the video, from there, we will figure out a path that we want to drive down to figure out what we're going to do. And I might, his name was Kevin. I might hit up Kevin and just kind of give him a, you know, a halfway point update and see what his plans are, or if there's a preference that he has. So we'll see. Let's get that thing fixed though. Let's get that taken care of. All right, guys, all that cinematographic, all that buildup, I got the pull start on there, and I think we're narrowing in on why this thing broke the way that it did. It goes around, and then it gets stopped right there. I think in science it's called centrifugal force. So the centrifugal force of that was turning around. Something got stuck in that other side, and it just caused everything to come to a screeching halt. We're gonna pop this thing off, and we're gonna figure out what got jammed or lodged in there. We'll open this thing, we'll get an idea of what's stopping that, and obviously whatever did get lodged in there caused that flywheel cup obviously to just implode, and you know, and that's that. I imagine this probably happens a lot to these. I don't know a ton about them, but with what gets shoved down in there, that carbide blade or whatever that is not perfect, and it cannot eat everything that's shoved down there, although people might try. So, all right, let's get that cover off. We'll see what's going on behind there. Got both of those things off there. I'm gonna take the wrench and I'll put it on that flywheel and I'll spin it over. It feels okay. Feels like it's got compression. We'll get some of those washers on this side so it kind of holds that piece out a little bit. It seemed like it was the little bit that was hitting it. After I took that off, I was spinning, or before I took that off, I was spinning it a little bit, and it seemed like it was just getting caught up just a hair on that, like, that insert thing. So let me get some of those washers on there, and we'll see if that makes a difference. All right, let's get that wrench on there. We'll just make sure that that thing doesn't get caught up on anything. All right, that sounds good to me. All right, so now let's get some boom boom juice down this one. And I just want to hear this one and make sure that it is all good. And then we'll carry on. So let's get some of that stuff down there. Okay, the top of this spark plug coil is kind of all janky. This thing's falling apart. I don't really like what I'm seeing here. I might have to re-crimp that. Let me get a pair of pliers. All right, let's just re-squeeze that in there. I'm not even attempting to put that spark checker tool on there. So just look for a little chatter right on the end of that little guy. Uh-oh, I didn't see anything. Right there, right at the top of my pinky. Let's try a different plug. I doubt it will do anything, but who knows. I'm feeling most of our problem is probably in that that setup of that thing. Okay, end of that thing. No, I didn't see anything in that either. Let's see, come on. If you're losing track, this one is the one that they had that flywheel cup issue. So the other one, we did determine it did run. That one still has transmission issues, you know, yet to be determined what we do on that. And then this one had, from what they told me, a fine engine. I don't know, looks like this is sat for a while. So maybe it just sat for some time and then this corrosion set in, and you know, who knows what's going on with there. Obviously that's our problem. So let me get this plate off and we'll just try to start to part some things aside, and we'll see what we can find out. I don't know if I have an extra one of those, but we'll check it out. Okay, let's take a quick pause. I found this. I just pulled this off of a Tecumseh snowblower side shaft engine. Very similar to this one. I think there's a couple horsepower difference. This came off of something that had a blown connecting rod, so I don't suspect that this coil has any issues. I don't know if it'll wind and set up the same way in there, but I figured, I mean, it's better than the one we have. All right, well, I would say that that is just about perfect, if not the exact same coil. I mean, it's pretty doggone close. So let's get this one put on and we'll see what that gives us. All right, spoke too soon. Valiant effort though. So look at the points. This was the pre-existing one. This is the one that we were going to swap it. See how that's off to the right, that hole? That's fine. It's off to the right. This hole favors the inside of here, and this hole is in the middle. So unfortunately, they just don't line up with those two bolt holes that are right there that they go into. So that is a major, major buzzkill. I do have a plan, I think I have a plan. This machine was theirs. The other one was bought as a parts machine, and I was told that the other one was bought specifically just to be able to rob parts and sacrifice one for the other. So I'm gonna rob the coil from the other one. Really bummed about this. Really am bummed. I thought for a second that was just gonna be an easy, you know, whoosh, whoosh, and nope, it was not. So you win some, you lose some. It's kind of like Christmas morning, like you come down Christmas morning and then you see a bunch of presents and you start to open them and then you realize that they're not for you. Let's move on. All right, guys, I got everything back together with the exception of that plate that goes on top because we're gonna have to access that carb at some point anyways. I'm gonna end this here as part one. Part two will be, you know, cleaning that carb and just kind of overall general wrap up of this, so because this might be getting long. I'm going to end it on a positive note because we haven't technically heard this engine run. I got a little bit of fuel down there already off camera. I did, and we're going to pull it over and we are going to see what it sounds like, and then we will call this one in the books. No choke. All right, here we go. All right, now that we got that coil on there, let's properly check for spark. I'm gonna be kind of dumbfounded if we don't have spark. That means it obviously wasn't that coil, which is really strange. Okay, we got all the lights off. There should be just a little orange flicker inside of that cylinder. Huh. Does Tecumseh make a low oil shutoff? Well, if they do, it is working because it has a decent amount of oil. Take a quick peek under there. There is a spark plug, or not a spark plug, some kind of cable running under there, and I think it's connected to this safety interlock switch. What the heck is that? Whatever the heck this says, safety interlock switch. That's obviously the reason why we're not getting spark. So I don't know if the switch can just go bad or if it's a part of the whole wire or what. Let's just take a look at that. Okay, it is literally 15 seconds later. I think we have our fix. There's like a, I don't even know what to call this. I guess just like a safety thing, and it hooks on. It was on the other one, it's not on this one. So they might have it and it was just missing. I can't imagine it'll run without it. I'm just assuming it's just some kind of safety mechanism, you know, where you can pull it. Oh, so it holds that down. So there must be something in there when it's let off, it grounds out. So if you see this tab up here, it will clip in, and this tab will push down on that button. So it's ground right now, so that probably takes it off ground, and that's what it is. Okay, let's get this thing down. There should still be a little bit of fuel in that cylinder, and we'll see if that fires up. I'm gonna go no choke. It's full throttle. All right, here we go. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for part one. Oh, my back hurts. That started to turn into a little bit of a pain in the butt. My face up there. If you just tap it, that'll subscribe to the channel. The bell. Don't forget the bell. If you're interested in this channel and if you like this content, thank you. I appreciate you joining. I really do, more than you know. That bell gives you notifications. Otherwise, you don't even know when I post a video. All right, part two coming up. Later, guys.